Life is full of unexpected twists, some beautiful, some devastating. I always thought love could conquer anything, that if you truly loved someone, you'd be able to weather any storm together. But some storms are too strong, and love alone isn't always enough. 2 months ago, my world shattered. My girlfriend, Emma, was attacked. She had gone for an evening walk in the park, something she had done countless times before, but that night was different. That night, someone stole her sense of safety, her peace of mind, and a part of her soul. When she came home, she was shaking, her clothes torn, her face streaked with silent tears. She wouldn't speak, wouldn't eat. She curled up in bed and refused to move for hours. I held her, whispering that I was here, that I wouldn't leave her side. But what do you say to someone whose world has been destroyed in an instant? She refused to go to the police. She refused to see a doctor. And I couldn't force her. All I could do was stay up with her when she woke up screaming in the middle of the night, stay next to her when she stared blankly at the walls for hours. We went to therapy together, but she barely spoke. She was lost in her own nightmare, and I was powerless to pull her out. Then, a few weeks later, the second blow came. She was pregnant. When we saw the test result, it was like time stopped. My heart pounded in my chest as I turned to Emma, watching as her face crumbled. "No. No, no, no," she whispered, clutching the test like it might somehow change if she stared at it long enough. I wanted to believe it was a mistake, a false alarm. But the test didn't lie, and the timeline didn't add up. It couldn't be mine. I had been away for 2 months on a work trip, returning early only because of what had happened. Emma collapsed onto the bathroom floor, sobbing. I knelt beside her, feeling my own chest tighten with an unbearable weight. "This can't be happening," she choked out. "I can't. This baby, it's his." I held her close, feeling her body shake in my arms. "We'll figure this out," I promised. "You don't have to do this alone." For the first time in weeks, she clung to me like I was the only thing keeping her from drowning. At first, Emma wanted an abortion. She said she couldn't carry this baby, couldn't live with a constant reminder of what had been done to her. I agreed, not because I didn't believe in life, but because I believed in Emma. I believed in her healing, in her future, in her ability to move forward without this painful tie to her trauma. We scheduled the appointment. Then she spoke to her mother. I should have known. Her mother had always been deeply religious, and to her, abortion wasn't just a sin, it was unforgivable. When Emma came back from the conversation, her eyes were different. They weren't filled with relief like I had hoped. They were filled with fear. "My mom said if I go through with it, she'll never speak to me again," Emma whispered. "She said I'd be killing an innocent life and I'd have to live with that guilt forever." I took her hands in mine. "Emma, this is your choice, not hers." She shook her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "I don't know what to do." I couldn't hide my frustration. "Emma, I love you, but I can't raise this child. I can't look at them every day and be reminded of what that monster did to you. If you choose to keep the baby, I'll have to walk away." Her breath hitched. "You're saying it's me or the baby?" I hated those words, but I had to be honest. "I'm saying I can't do this, Emma." She broke down, sobbing harder than I had ever seen her. And I knew at that moment she felt trapped. For days, Emma was a ghost. She barely ate, barely spoke. Then one night, she called her mother again. "Mom, I need you," she pleaded. "Please, just support me." Her mother's response was swift and cold. "If you go through with this, abortion, don't ever call me again. You won't just lose me. You'll lose your brother, your family, and you'll never see your father in heaven." Emma gasped, as if physically struck. Her father, an abusive alcoholic who had made her childhood a nightmare, was apparently still a better person than her in her mother's eyes. She hung up. And then she texted her mother, "I'm getting the abortion." Her mother blocked her instantly. Emma collapsed into my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. And for the first time, I saw something shift in her. The guilt, the fear, it wasn't gone, but it was lighter. "This is my decision," she whispered, "not hers." 3 weeks later, we went to the clinic. When we got home, Emma cried. It wasn't just sadness. It was relief, grief, exhaustion, all rolled into one. I held her, rocking her gently as she let it all out. "I feel like I can breathe again," she admitted. "Like I can move forward." We took the whole week off work and went camping. It rained, of course, because that's just our luck. But in the safety of our little tent, listening to the soft patter of raindrops, we talked about everything. About pain, about loss, about love. She looked at me, eyes filled with something I hadn't seen in a long time. Hope. "I lost my mom," she said softly. "But I still have you." I kissed her forehead. Always. The road ahead wasn't easy, but for the first time in months, we weren't drowning. We were learning how to swim again. Together. This story isn't about right or wrong. It's about survival. About love being tested in the harshest of ways. Sometimes love means standing your ground. Sometimes love means letting go. And sometimes love means choosing to walk forward, even when the path is covered in shadows. Because, in the end, the only way out of darkness is to find the light together.